My wife and I have been married for 16 and a half years. It's amazing to think about that and to see all that we've been through and all that we've done and the different places we've lived, the amazing amount of people that we've met. But 16 and a half years ago, we stood at the altar at a wedding and had that celebration. Interesting thing is, we'd only dated for 10 months. Yes, I know, it's kind of interesting. We had known each other for 10 months. We met actually through an online dating service, and 10 months later, we were married. We were in our later 20s, so kind of a different life stage. But as I've seen recently, the average age of getting married is getting higher into even the 30s, which is interesting. But your beginning, what are the things that predict marital health and marital success and even kind of that depth? It's actually not how long you date. It's not how long you, the things you spend time doing or the things that you think you have in common. Interestingly, there are things that I thought my wife and I had in common and that we enjoyed together that after we got married, that wasn't true. And you start realizing, wait a minute, who did I marry? And that's okay. Actually, those are the kind of things you realize along the way, and you make adjustments. You may not be able to enjoy those things with this person, so you find new things and just like in new life stages. But what's the key? And I would actually say the key is conflict resolution. John Gottman in his research has found overwhelmingly that we can see the seeds of this and see the truth of this prior to the wedding. We need to be able to help our young people understand this, and as they head towards marriage, so that they can see it themselves and see it in their friends, because oftentimes the best help for that is going to be other people in my circle that can speak into my life. Key people in my wife and I's story were key people that we kind of rubbed shoulders with, did life with through our church, and other groups, and they were the main ones to kind of vet us. Is this okay? But how you handle conflict. So, as my wife and I headed towards marriage, we realized, okay, we met on a dating service, so we're already assuming marriage. We're not even friends yet, so we had to back up. It was an interesting journey. And then as we headed towards marriage and got closer, got towards engagement, one of the key things was this certain conversation we had that was a conflict. It was stressful. I learned that all conflict is bad, sin. It's not true, but that's what I had gathered from my surroundings, if you will. And so in my relationship with Kelly, she disagreed with me on something, and I didn't know what to do. How dare you? Which shows my arrogance. But in that conflict, in that about 5 or 6 hour conversation, very quiet, and we're very kind of passive people, we learned a lot about each other. And fast forward 16 and a half years, you know what? I'd say we still have a lot to learn about how to conflict well, how to voice our needs or our opinions well. Some of you, man, you do that great, wonderful. You'll have another set of issues. But for us, we've had to learn to voice some of those things. So leaning into conflict and actually not taking each other out in the process. So no matter how I feel, it's about protecting the us. There's him, there's her, there's two people, but there's a third kind of entity, if you will. It's the us. Are you protecting the us? How do you do that? Lots of great time together. Can you make it all quality time? No, but it's lots of great time together. And so you invest in conversation, and I would actually even say adventures and trips and just doing things together. And I don't mean even things that involve a lot of money, but it's doing life together. Some of you work together. Some of you actually work very, very separate, kind of live very separate lives, which makes the time together even more precious. So how you set up your marriage actually also stems from the dating, those beginning steps, if you will, how you handle the differences, how you handle when the other person kind of clashes with your beliefs. If you have very different political beliefs or beliefs about church or the Bible, these become huge deals. And so being able to navigate those together and preserve the us. So I hope that you will actually preserve your us as you continue to write your love story and build into this person that God gave you to build a healthy marriage. Hey there, this is Dr. Corey Gilbert, and I hope this was helpful. If this was helpful, would love to engage in more conversations. Check out my Facebook group, facebook.com/group/The Healthy Marriage, and let's build healthy marriages together. I promise it's worth it. I so promise it's worth it. But don't do it alone. Bless you, your family, and your family tree. And again, let's link arms and let's do this together.